Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm attorney Sonia Peterkin, founder and managing attorney of the law office of S.A. Peterkin. And today's topic is whether a U.S. citizen or permanent resident can still sponsor a family member even if they are unemployed, meaning they're making no income. I get this question a lot, and I'm happy to answer that for you guys today. So yes, a sponsor can still sponsor a family member for a green card even if they earn zero income. And this is how. One of the most common ways to deal with this is to obtain a joint sponsor. A joint sponsor is another individual who will take financial responsibility for the intending immigrant. And they are either a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. They are at least 18 years of age, and they live in the United States. They will also need to prove that they independently earn at least 125% above the poverty guidelines. How do you know how much money they need to earn? Well, that's going to be based off of their household size. Once you're able to calculate their household size, you will then refer to the chart that is on the USCIS website that will help you to determine the minimum income requirement. So let's talk about the household size and how you determine that. Your household size consists of all the people who you are financially responsible for, whether they are living with you or not. Once you're able to calculate the household size, then you can refer back to the chart on the USCIS website and determine what the minimum income requirement is. So the next question is, well, how do you prove income? Well, you can do that from your tax returns and also from pay stubs and a employment verification letter that you can obtain from your supervisor or employer. An example of how to calculate household size is Henry has a wife and two children. One is 20 years old in college and the other is 15 years old and lives with his ex-wife. He has also filed a financial affidavit of support for a cousin that is still overseas and has not immigrated to the United States yet. What is his household size? So based on this example, Henry has to count himself, he has to count his spouse, he has to count his 15-year-old son, even though the 15-year-old does not live with him because he's still a dependent child. He does not have to count the 20-year-old child that's in college unless that child is listed as a dependent on his income taxes. The cousin that he filed overseas is not included because that person has not received their green card yet, has not immigrated to the United States. Therefore, his financial responsibility has not kicked in yet. So based on the information we have, Henry, his wife, and his 15-year-old child, it's a household size of 3. Once we calculate the household size of 3, we will refer to the chart to see what his minimum income requirement is. And then based on that figure, we'll be able to determine whether Henry will be a qualifying sponsor or not. I want you to remember something very important. Even if you obtain a joint sponsor, your primary sponsor has to still complete the Form I-864 financial affidavit of support. They're not off the hook just because you have a joint sponsor. So basically, when you obtain a joint sponsor, you have two people financially responsible for you. You have the primary sponsor and you have the joint sponsor. So that's why it's important that both of them complete the form. This is a mistake that I see a lot of people make, and this will cause a lot of delays in your case because the case will either be denied or if you're lucky, you'll get a request for evidence. Another option that can be used if your sponsor does not make any money and is unemployed is using the income of a household member. A household member is a person who is a relative of the primary sponsor and who lives in the same household. The other option is to use assets. Your primary sponsor can provide proof of ownership of the asset and the value of the asset in order to satisfy the requirements of the financial affidavit of support. If you're using this option, assets can be cash in various bank accounts, automobiles, homes, even jewelry. The important part is making sure that you can prove ownership and the value of the asset. An example that I've done recently is using a vehicle. Okay, so you are only able to use a vehicle if you own more than one vehicle. When you're using a vehicle, it's actually pretty easy to prove the value. We just use the Kelley Blue Book value by ascertaining the make, model, year, and mileage. So once we're able to generate the value from the Kelley Blue Book, we just use that as proof of the value, and we provide the title of the car. So that's pretty simple. I had a more challenging situation where a person owned a bus business. Kelley Blue Book does not provide the value of those types of vehicles, and actually there is no similar system for those kinds of buses. So even though he owned numerous buses, it was very difficult to prove the value of those buses. So, when you're dealing with a financial affidavit of support, you want to keep things as simple as possible. Remember that the officers are not attorneys, and they're oftentimes going through a checklist of items, and they're also going through thousands of cases. And so you want to make sure everything is outlined and there's no guesswork there, and it doesn't get too complicated, or else 9 times out of 10, they will send you a request for evidence and tell you that you have not satisfied the financial affidavit of support. So simplicity is key. The other option that you can use in limited circumstances is use the income of the intending immigrant. This is possible if the intending immigrant is currently earning income from a lawful source, and that source will continue on even after immigrating to the United States. If you intend to use this option, I recommend first consulting with an immigration attorney to make sure it's being done correctly. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that. Like the video below, and if you know someone who's going through the immigration process or intends to go through the immigration process, share this video with them. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.